Hey, welcome. Do you ever feel like you're caught in a loop with your relationships? Having the same exact argument, feeling the same frustrations, maybe with different people, or maybe with the same person over and over again. If you've ever felt trapped in one of those cycles, you're in the right place. Today, we're going to unpack why that happens, and more importantly, what you can actually do about it.
Oh boy, does this sound familiar? You always do this. You never listen. These are basically the theme song to that same old fight, right? It's that awful feeling of being completely and totally misunderstood, where every single conflict just feels like a rerun. It is exhausting. And it's got to make you wonder.
Yeah, why does this keep happening? Are we just unlucky in love? Did we pick the wrong person? Well, it turns out these patterns are not random at all. They have really deep roots. And in this explainer, we're going to trace them all the way back to where they started.
So that feeling of being stuck, it's incredibly common. And that's because the fight you're having today, right now, probably isn't about what you think it's about. It's not really about who was supposed to take out the trash or why someone was 10 minutes late. It's about something much, much deeper. Something we all carry around with us, our emotional baggage.
Okay, so emotional baggage. What does that even mean? It's not just some buzzword. It's the whole collection of unconscious survival strategies we came up with when we were just kids. It's the parts of ourselves we learned to hide away and the deep needs that never quite got met. We packed these bags a long, long time ago without even knowing we were doing it.
So to figure out what's in our own baggage, we have to go back to when we first packed it. The blueprint for how we relate to other people is pretty much set in the first 6 years of our lives, across 4 really crucial stages of development.
Think of this like the secret origin story of your psyche, a journey you took before you could even form memories. From connection to exploration to identity, all the way to competence. Each of these stages had a critical need, and how that need was met or wasn't met is what shaped the way you connect with everyone today.
First up, from birth to age 2 is connection. As a baby, all you need is to feel safe and cared for. If you get that consistently, you learn a fundamental lesson. The world is a pretty trustworthy place. But if that care was inconsistent or distant, you had to adapt. You might have learned to cling anxiously, always worried about being left alone. Or you might have learned the opposite. Relationships are just not safe, so it's better to keep people at a distance.
Next, at age 2 to 3, we hit the exploration stage. This is when a toddler's curiosity just explodes. If you were in a safe space where you could explore with gentle guidance, you learned that the world is an exciting place. But if your environment was too restrictive or maybe too chaotic, you adapted. You either learned that you should only explore if you're attached at the hip to someone else, or you learned to do it in secret because your curiosity felt wrong.
Then comes identity around age 3. This is when we start asking, who am I? If our parents reflected our feelings back to us and accepted us, quirks and all, we learned a simple, powerful message. It's okay to be me. But if we were judged, we adapted. We might have built up rigid my way or the highway boundaries to protect ourselves. Or we went the other way and became a people pleaser, thinking whatever you want is fine, just to keep the peace. And finally, from age 4 to 6, there's competence. We start learning to do things, draw, build with blocks, write our name. If we are praised for our effort, not just the result, we learn to enjoy the process of trying. But if we were constantly criticized or compared to others, we developed one of 2 strategies. Either become a perfectionist, thinking, I have to be the best to be worthy, or become passive, figuring, why even bother? I'm just going to fail anyway.
So through all this, to make sure we stayed safe and connected to our caregivers, we sometimes had to hide or lose parts of ourselves. Maybe it was your spontaneous joy, your wild creativity, your anger, or your vulnerability. These lost parts don't just vanish. They get packed away in our emotional baggage. And our adult partners have this incredible knack for bumping right into those bags, sparking those exact same fights. Okay, so we've all got these bags packed with unmet needs and lost parts of ourselves. But here comes the big plot twist. The problem isn't just what's in the bag, it's how we see the person carrying it. It's about our very idea of what a self is.
We've basically got 2 ways of looking at this. For a long time, the Western view has been the island self, the idea that we're all separate, like little atoms bouncing around. My problems are my problems, and your problems are your problems. But there's another view, the ocean self. This view says we aren't separate islands at all. We're more like waves in the same ocean. We are fundamentally interconnected. My well-being is completely tied up with yours, and vice versa. And you know what? This isn't just some feel-good philosophy.
Science is actually backing this up. Research shows that the more we operate from that isolated island self-perspective, the more anxiety and depression we tend to feel. Real, lasting happiness seems to be found in recognizing just how connected we all are.
So if we're all imperfect people, carrying around our own unique emotional baggage, bumping into each other, and our happiness depends on our connection, what on earth are we supposed to do? Well, we learn the single most important, most powerful skill for any relationship, the art of repair.
Let's just bust a huge myth right here, right now. The goal is not a perfect, conflict-free relationship. That does not exist. It's a total fantasy. We're human. We're messy. We are absolutely going to make mistakes. We are going to hurt each other, even when we don't mean to.
And that's the whole point. The real measure of a relationship's strength isn't the absence of problems. It's the ability and the willingness to come back together and repair the connection after a problem. That is the secret sauce.
I want you to think of your relationship like a living thing, an ecosystem. Every argument that doesn't get resolved is like a little crack, a fissure, that slowly drains the life and energy out of it. But repair is what mends those cracks. It takes a moment of conflict and transforms it into an opportunity to get closer. It builds a real, practical skill, not just theory.
But how do you actually do it? Here is a simple but incredibly powerful tool called the Imago Dialogue. It has 3 steps. Step 1, mirror. You just repeat back what you heard your partner say without adding any judgment. It shows you're listening. Step 2, validate. You find the part of their reality that makes sense from their perspective. You say, I can see why you'd feel that way. And step 3, empathize. You try to guess the feeling underneath their words. I imagine that must have felt. This little structure takes the blame out and creates safety.
All right, let's pull all of this together. We have gone on quite a journey, right? We've traced the secret roots of our relationship patterns, we've explored a huge shift in perspective, and we've even found a concrete tool we can use to start changing things.
So what do I really want you to walk away with? First, remember, your patterns are not character flaws. They're not because you're broken, they are adaptations that once kept you safe. Second, shifting from that me island view to a we ocean view is a total game changer. Third, please stop chasing perfection. Start practicing repair instead. And last, remember that conflict doesn't have to be a disaster. It can actually be a bridge to get you closer than you were before. So I want to leave you with this final thought. Just picture your next disagreement. What if, instead of bracing for another battle, you saw it as an invitation, an opportunity to finally understand your partner's baggage, to help them see yours, and to build something even stronger, together? What would change for you then?